What if there was a card that only cost you $95 a year? The sign-up bonus was out of this world, and it had something that many of the cards have been taking away, which is an outstanding multiplier on all travel. And when I say all travel, I mean all travel. Things like airfare, hotels, cruises, trains, rideshare, taxis, parking, just everything you can think of, and getting 3x across the board in a transferable currency. Well, the card I want to tell you about today that I just acquired and I'm very excited about fits that bill exactly. So if you would hit the like and subscribe button and let me tell you all about it. Well, the card I'm describing today is none other than the Chase Inc. Preferred Business Credit Card. Now, as we get started, some of you are going to think, yeah, but I don't do business credit cards. I don't have a business. And the definition of a business in the United States is kind of loosely defined. What I mean by that is you don't have to have a limited liability company and you don't have to have an S corporation or anything of that nature to be considered a business by these credit card companies or even by the government. You just have to be a sole proprietor, and that can even be a side income. So you do need to do something like, if you sell something on Etsy or if you sell things on Facebook Marketplace, or if you do some babysitting, or perhaps you mow a couple yards, things of that nature often qualify. Now, of course, you'll have to look into it yourself. Your miles may vary, but I have found that it's really not that tough to get a business credit card if you've got some sort of even small side income. So look into that yourself. Now, of course, this isn't financial advice and you need to work that out, but many will tell you that getting business credit cards is pretty easy for somebody who has just a side income. Now, this card is kind of interesting. Now, some of you, if you watch many of my videos, know I'm not the biggest fan of Chase. I do have a lot of Chase cards and a lot of Chase points, but my preferred ecosystems are BILT and Citi. So why is it that I would be excited to get this card? Well, it comes down to a couple things. First of all, it has an outstanding bonus right now. So if you sign up for this card, it's currently sitting at 100,000 Chase points for $8,000 in spend in 3 months. Now, 100,000 points on a card that's only a $95 annual fee is a great sign-up bonus in anybody's book, especially with points that are transferable to so many different programs like United and Air Canada. Different hotels, you could transfer your points over to Hyatt. This is an outstanding sign-up bonus for a card that earns transferable points that are generally very valuable. So that's why I'm excited about it and was excited to get it. There's another reason I'm very excited about it, and that is this card is a better anchor card or placeholder card in my Chase ecosystem. Now, what I mean by that is I currently have the Chase Sapphire Preferred, and I have to keep that card even though I'm not a big fan of the card. In fact, I only ever use the card for car rentals because it has primary insurance. That means it doesn't first go to my own personal insurance. They just take care of the insurance on car rentals. So that's really all I use the card for. But I hang on to the card and pay that $95 annual fee because I want to have a card that allows me to transfer to Chase's transfer partners. Now, the interesting thing is that the Chase Sapphire Preferred and the Chase Sapphire Reserve allow that, but so does this card. The Inc. Preferred card allows you to transfer out to their partners. And that is, to me, a very valuable thing because this card in my wallet is far better as an anchor card to be able to transfer to partners than the Chase Sapphire Preferred is. Now, I do want to tell you at the outset, I do have a referral bonus in the description down below. If you're interested in this card, it would help out the channel if you use that referral bonus. Now, why is it that this card matters to me when the multipliers, as I'm kind of well known for, I don't think many multipliers that are 3x or below are all that useful anymore now that I have the BILT Palladium card that gets me more than 3x on all my spend. But this card does have a really interesting multiplier of 3x on all travel. Now, it does have some other 3X categories. It has shipping, it has internet, cable, and phone, and it has advertising. So if a person was doing a lot of, say, Facebook advertising for their small business, this might be a very, very good card. Or if they ship a lot of things, if they're making things, selling it on Etsy or eBay or something like that, there might be a lot of use for that. But the really interesting category to me is the 3X on all travel, because it's extremely, extremely broad. Now, this used to be true on the Chase Sapphire Reserve card until they changed the card. And now, really the only Chase card that has that expanded multiplier. And I mean, travel can be flights, it can be cruises, it can be things like hotels, it can be parking, it can be trains, it can be subways. I mean, it's extremely broad, and it's 3X. And since this card has no foreign transaction fees, you can take this card for your business travel, and you can go overseas and you can swipe it in so many different ways and get 3X. Now, you might say, well, why would you care about that if you have the BILT Palladium card that gets you more than 3X on everything? Well, in some ways I don't, but I do think I have a use for this card, because with my small YouTube channel, I'm trying to separate out my spending on business cards for my channel versus the spending I do on a personal level. So for me to have 3X on travel, so when we go and maybe are going to review airlines, or we're going to review different lounges, or we're going to do a review of a hotel or something like that, to separate that out onto a business card and still get almost what I'll get with my BILT Palladium card is a pretty useful tool to be able to separate out my spending. So that's why it matters to me. But there could be some of you out there, you don't have the BILT Palladium card, or maybe your BILT setup is based upon the Obsidian card. And so with that setup, you're probably not going to get over 3X on all your spending in regard to travel. And this card would be super, super useful in that use case. Now, a few other things about the card. It has 5X on Lyft rides, and it's through, I think, September of 2027. So I kind of do a lot of Lyft rides, so when it's kind of my preferred go-to, because I've gotten used to it, because BILT gives elevated multipliers and things like that on it. And I also can put money into my Lyft cash with my rideshare credits on other cards. So Lyft's kind of a go-to for me. So I'm definitely going to use the card for those Lyft rides to get 5X. That's a really, really good multiplier. It also comes with a DoorDash Dash Pass. You get that for 12 months. And with that, you get a $10 credit every month on Dash Pass non-restaurant spend. So that would mean if you wanted to, and in a lot of places, there's a lot of like convenience stores, grocery stores, things like that. You could just make a quick order of some energy drinks, or maybe some candy bars, or just some things if you wanted to, or even more than that, and just have $10 taken off of it. So that's kind of a benefit that if you use it, it's going to wipe out the annual fee completely, and you're just going to have great net positive from that 3X multiplier on travel, and then if you use some of those other multipliers as well. Now, the card just earns 1X on everything else, so you wouldn't want it to be your catch-all card by any means. But those categories are very, very good. Now, the card also, in typical Chase fashion, has really good protections. If you care about these things, it's not something I think about a lot, but I know a lot of people value this, and that is it gives you delayed bags, and of course it gives you protections on your travel. It gives primary car insurance if you're renting. It says specifically for business purposes, but you get that primary car rental coverage, which is extremely valuable. And then this pairs great with the multiplier on your phone bill, because you get 3X on your phone bill, but you also get cell phone protection. Now, there's a deductible, but almost all of them have some kind of deductible, but you get protection on your phone plan. So that could be very valuable as well. So those are the reasons that I'm excited that I got approved for the Chase Inc. Preferred Business Credit Card, and why I think it could be very valuable in a lot of people's wallets. Now, do I think it's the best card in my wallet? No, I don't. But do I think it has a place in my wallet, particularly for me to separate out my business spend? It does. And I will use some of those travel multipliers when I'm traveling and doing so for my business, so that I can separate that out. But then the biggest reason I think it's super valuable is a 100,000 point bonus. You got to spend $8,000 in 3 months. But 100,000 points on a $95 card is a very, very good bonus. So if you'd like to maybe look at this card, I do have a referral link down below. If you use that, you can maybe get that 100,000 point bonus, and it would help out the channel, and I appreciate that very much. So what do you think of this card? Do you have it? For me, it's one of the best cards, particularly as that anchor card. I mean, I'd much rather hang on to this card than the Chase Sapphire Preferred, at least in my setup now. So what do you think of that? What do you think of the multipliers? What do you think of the card and the sign-up bonus overall? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for being here today. If you would consider my channel membership, I have RM Insiders. It's $2.99 a month. You can cancel anytime, but I do special videos just for channel members every single week. I also early release most of my videos to channel members first. I also have a higher tier called Spreadsheet Warriors, and that is for the gamers, the people who want to be in this game heavy, heavy, heavy. We have live Zoom sessions every month, sometimes more than once a month, where we can strategize together, ask questions face-to-face over Zoom. It's a really exciting thing for those of us who are really into this game at a high level. So you can check that out as well. Thank you for being here today. Please hit the like and subscribe button, and I will see you here next time.